ਫੈਡਰਲ ਲਿਬਰਲ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਅਹਿਮ ਸ਼ਖਸੀਅਤ ਰੈਲਫ ਗੁਡੈਲ ਹਾਲ ਹੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਅਰ ਮੇਨਲੈਂਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਸਨ। ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਦੇ ਕਿਹੜੇ-ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੁੱਖ ਮੁੱਦੇ ਹਨ ਤੇ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਵਾਈਵ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ। Thank you for your time. It's a pleasure having you.
My great pleasure to be with you.
So, Ralph, how's the leadership race going on with 9 candidates jumping into the fray? There seems to be a lot of excitement. So, what do you feel about it?
There is a lot of excitement, a lot of interest across the country. The process is a long one. It takes several months to get through this. But I think the party is very pleased at the level of interest that's been shown. 9 very good candidates. They've been working across the country now to get themselves known within the party, and we have this new category of participation called the supporter class, where people can become involved in the leadership process and actually vote for the leader in April, and be fully engaged in that whole decision-making process. It broadens the base of the party, and we're finding that quite literally tens of thousands of people, new people, are using this as their way to introduce themselves to the Liberal Party and hopefully become members and donors and future candidates and participants in many ways. So it's a healthy exercise. It's exciting. You can tell that Liberals have their pulse beating a lot faster. I think it's a very good thing for the party, and ultimately it's good for Canadian politics to have a strong, thriving, successful Liberal Party.
You have been involved with the party for a long time. What difference do you find, especially in this particular leadership race, and also the kind of resurgence of the party? Are you finding that people now are finding that this party needs to be brought forward?
Yes, I think the message that we're hearing is that as people look at the government and the official opposition, they're finding that they don't see the answers that they're seeking for their future. There's a steady erosion in support for the Conservative government. At the same time, that shift in vote is not going to the NDP. People are going into the undecided column and looking for something better, something different, something that will be more reflective of their values and their hopes for the country, which means there's both need and room in our political system for the Liberal alternative. Now, what Liberals have to do is to show that we've got two things. We've got the sizzle of an exciting leadership contest and ultimately an attractive leader of the party that will draw people as a kind of magnet toward the party. But secondly, in addition to the sizzle, we also have to have the substance, the vision for the future that corresponds with what Canadians want. And we're working on both of those. This is an innovative period for Liberals, and I think people are quite energized about it.
And do you feel after a new leader is chosen, that vacuum which was seen will be filled up by this leader and you will be able to attract the people back to your party?
Yes, I do. There's clearly a yearning among Canadians for that option. They're not content with what they've got now. They want to have a new approach to the future, one that is not vindictive, one that is not polarizing, driving people apart. I think people want the opportunity to pull together. We look across the border at polarization in the American political system and see what that does. It paralyzes decision making. The partisan atmosphere in the United States is toxic. Even if you try to find accommodation to reach out to people, that's seen as weakness in the process. Polarization is negative. It's corrosive, and you see that every day in American politics. We don't want that in Canadian politics, but there is a tendency toward polarization between Mr. Harper and Mr. Mulcair. That's why there's a desire for something different. Someone in leadership and a political party that will build bridges, not drive wedges. And this country is just too decent, too hopeful, too ambitious for the future to be content for very long with politics that are driven by fear and greed and envy. They want something better than that.
There was a time when there was some talk about NDP merging with the Liberals and so forth, and strong opposition to be given to the Conservatives. Are there still any talks or anything going on in this direction?
Well, there's nothing at all formal in that direction. Some people will no doubt debate that during the course of this leadership process, the pros and cons of that particular idea. But the key question now for Liberals, before you can have any thought of the political strategy for the future, the key thing is to settle the leadership question, so that we answer that vacuum, if you will, or that question mark for people. Who will be the Liberal personality? Right. Who will be the person leading the parade? And I think if we answer that strongly, that will attract a lot of support to Liberals across the country. As well, during the leadership process, it's not just a matter of the leadership candidates talking to the membership or talking to the supporters. Right. It's the supporters and the members talking back to the leadership candidate. This is a great opportunity for grassroots party participants